What if you could travel back in time? Have you ever thought about that? Sounds like something straight out of the best science fiction movies, right? But what if I told you that, more than just a cinematic daydream, this idea carries a paradoxical fascination capable of messing with anyone's head? Then come with me on this imaginary journey. After years of study, effort, and lots of caffeine, you finally managed to develop a time machine. With this invention in hand, you decide to do the unthinkable. Go back in time and find yourself with a younger version of yourself, totally immersed in the complexity of trying to build what you already have. Without thinking twice, you hand over the detailed instructions to this past version of you. What you've just done is create a real time loop, where the existence of the time machine depends exclusively on your future intervention in your own history. It's one of those mind-bending paradoxes known as the bootstrap paradox, which makes us question the linearity of time and the origin of things. Imagining a situation where something exists simply because its future version ensured its existence in the past is something that challenges our understanding of cause and effect. But wait a minute. Have you ever thought that we don't need a time machine to come across paradoxes that defy logic? Let's take a look at this rather hilarious situation. You're there, swimming, when suddenly you find yourself stuck in the middle of the pool, struggling not to sink. Then someone on the edge says, "It's as simple as pulling yourself out by your hair." What do you mean? Since when is it possible to save yourself from such a mess using your own hair? It's advice that borders on the absurd, but it's exactly this kind of reasoning that makes us laugh and think at the same time. Let's imagine that one afternoon, in a cafe around the corner, you're faced with a seemingly simple conundrum. What is a sum operation, and what defines an equality? Sounds basic, doesn't it? But if you dig a little deeper, you realize that even the most basic concepts carry an ocean of unanswered questions. This is the stage where Munchausen's Trema makes its debut, challenging the audience with a riddle capable of making even the wisest of thinkers scratch their heads in bewilderment. He proposes a challenge that goes beyond the surface, questioning the very foundation of our knowledge about the world. Now imagine yourself as a detective at the scene of an intellectual crime, where the mystery is not who, but how. How do we justify the knowledge we take for granted? Munchausen's Trema, with its cunning, offers us 3 doors, each leading to a different path of explanation, but none of them without its own puzzles and traps. The first door, marked with the symbol of circularity, opens onto a hall of mirrors, coherentism, where each reflection justifies the other in an endless cycle. Here, beliefs support each other in a delicate dance, with no fixed point of departure or arrival. It's a fascinating world, where truth is built by the cohesion of the whole. But the question always remains, can a castle be supported only by air? Moving on, the second door takes us into the labyrinth of infinitism, where each corridor is marked by a regression to infinity. This path stretches out before us, promising answers at every turn, but only revealing more questions. It's an endless journey, a challenge to our thirst for definitive conclusions, where the only certainty is that there will always be more to discover. Finally, the third door reveals the sanctuary of dogmatism, a quiet refuge where beliefs are accepted without question. Here, in the comfort of traditionalism, we find peace in certainty, but at the cost of closing our eyes to the possibilities beyond the temple walls. It's a seductive choice, offering clear answers, but at what price does this tranquility come? Each door, each theory offers a unique vision of how we can try to understand the world around us. Munchausen's Trema is not just an intellectual challenge, it is an invitation to explore the complex and multifaceted nature of human knowledge. Deciding between the 3 doors may not be easy, but that's the beauty of it. We don't have to choose one route and ignore the others. Perhaps the real wisdom lies in exploring each one, understanding its paths and dead ends, and then, who knows, finding a path of your own, a unique path that only you can trace. So, are you ready for the journey? We often define certain theories as absolute truths, but who knows what tomorrow holds. History teaches us that scientific knowledge is not a marble statue, immutable and eternal, but a clay sculpture, always subject to reformulation and improvement. Let's take the theory of the ether as a classic example. There was a time when the most brilliant scientists believed that the ether was a necessary medium for the propagation of light, a substance that filled all empty space, making it possible for light to travel through the universe. And then along came Albert Einstein with his theory of relativity, turning the tables and showing that the universe had other rules, that light didn't need a medium to propagate. This not only replaced the ether theory, but also expanded our understanding of the universe in a way we couldn't have imagined before. This example isn't just a footnote in the history of science. It's a powerful reminder that our knowledge is constantly evolving. So when you hear about a new scientific discovery, remember that it is part of an ongoing journey, a never-ending process of searching for the truth. Each discovery leads to new questions, new mysteries to be explored, and it is this relentless pursuit of knowledge that keeps us moving forward, expanding the horizons of what is possible. Accepting that our knowledge is fallible frees us from the rigidity of "it's always been this way," and opens up space for curiosity. It is in this space that the magic of science, philosophy, art, and all forms of human search for understanding resides. So, have you been able to keep up? What do you think about all this? Can we justify our beliefs without falling into these paradoxes? Leave your opinion in the comments, and let's continue this conversation. Thank you very much for following me here, and see you next time.